is NBC 10 News.
An historic cheesesteak shop in Northeast Philadelphia is changing its name. It's controversial. The owner of Chink's Steaks says that he's going to change the name to Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop Monday. For years, civil rights groups have protested the current name because of its racial slur. The shop opened in 1949. It was named for founder Sam Sherman, who was given the nickname Chink by neighborhood kids. Asian American groups have long petitioned for the change.
This is NBC 10 News.
You know, in more than 50 years, not much has changed at this cheesesteak joint, including what some say is the derogatory name it goes by. That is, until now. The name of the restaurant is Chink's Steaks.
But come Monday, that is all changing. Located in the Torresdale section of Philadelphia, Chink's Steaks is about to be called Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. I stopped by today at the height of the busy lunchtime rush. For 64 years, it's been called Chink's. Now the owner of this popular cheesesteak shop says after years of protests that the name was derogatory to Asians, it's time to put an end to the controversy and change the name.
We got nasty emails saying, you know, we're going to throw a Molotov cocktail through your front window, you know, if you don't do it. And that scared me for my staff and my family, you know, that someone could hurt us because of the name.
The shop is named after the late Sam Chink Sherman, who apparently got the nickname as a child due to the shape of his eyes. Signs are up announcing the change. Many customers aren't happy the owner gave in.
I guess people from out of town come in here they're in shock, like, why would you name it that? But, you know, there's tons of things that are out there that have strange names when you really think about it, but there's really no meaning behind it.
Just a few doors down from the cheesesteak shop is a store owner of Chinese descent. He says despite protests over the years, he feels the change isn't necessary.
Out of this neighborhood, there might be some people complain, but that's not what I'm here to judge.
I have a lot of loyal customers that are very loyal to the name and are very, very upset that I'm doing this.
And even with him changing the name, it's still going to be known as Chink's.
The name change happens Monday, which of course is April Fool's Day, but the restaurant owner says this is the furthest thing from a joke. People are responding to the name change right on our Facebook page, and the overwhelming majority of people are against the change. Tracy Kachansky says change is not always good. It will always be Chink's to me. I've been going there since I was a little girl. Thomas Dolt says it's a name. People are too sensitive. Jim Miller writes, if you can change, I can change, we all can change. So that brings us to today's Chime-In question. Today we're asking NBC 10 viewers, how do you think this name change will affect the restaurant's business in the future? Chime in now via Twitter, Facebook, or email. Submit your comments, and we'll be airing some of them later on NBC 10 News at 5. For the last 64 years, this place has been known as Chink's Steaks, named after a previous owner, people say because of the shape of his eyes. But now the owner is changing the name of the restaurant to Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. He says he has received threats by people offended by the name Chink's who say it is derogatory. There are many in the community who do oppose the use of that word. Among them is Stella Tsai, president of the Asian Pacific American Bar Association of Pennsylvania. Stella, first of all, thank you for joining us. As you know, the debate over the name has been ongoing for years, with people urging the owner to change it, but to no avail. What were your thoughts when you first heard the name of the restaurant years ago, and how do you feel now that it is finally being changed?
When I first heard about the name change, I was encouraged. I think that's the best word I could use for the way I feel right now. We had really worked hard with the community to persuade Mr. Groh to change the name, and lo and behold, it happened. It was a bit of a surprise, I must say.
We heard from a lot of people today in the restaurant and saw hundreds via social media who think there's nothing wrong at all with the name of that restaurant. Why do you think people are so sentimental and loyal to the name of that restaurant despite its historical derogatory meaning?
Well, I think maybe to give people the benefit of the doubt that they associate it with some nostalgia, and they don't necessarily come from the same place that we do, who have experienced we're at the end of the derogatory epithet.
The owner of the restaurant says no ill will was ever meant in the naming of that restaurant. Do you agree?
Well, There's ill will and there's also lack of understanding of knowledge. I think that I'm a big fan of the First Amendment, and I think we all should be. But one of the things that we need to understand is that we have the right to also to be decent to each other. And the word derived from the 19th century when they were trying to exclude Chinese from the United States, and has come into use as a way to bully people.
I know you have fought for years to get the name of this restaurant changed. In 2004, there was a big protest outside that restaurant. Would you consider frequenting the restaurant now that the name is being changed, or always going elsewhere because of the history?
Let's put it this way. I just tweeted, "Let's go eat at Joe's." So
that's where you're going, maybe tonight, the weekend, or Monday when that official name change is actually taking place. The signage will be switched out around 10 a.m. Monday.
And actually, I think the color of my shirt is the same color scheme. So I just want to say thank you, Joe Groh, for coming around. Welcome to the 21st century.
All right. As you would probably say, better late than never.
That's right.
All right. Sel Asai, president of the Asian Pacific American Bar Association of Pennsylvania, thanks so much for joining us and giving us your side.
Thank you.
Same cheesesteaks, different name. That's the message from Chink's Steaks tonight as it gets ready to change that name and protest its derogatory treatment towards Asians because of the name. Chink's first opened in 1949. It's in the Torresdale section of Philadelphia. The owner says he's known about the opposition to the name of this restaurant for decades, but thinks it's finally time, well, for a change. So come Monday, the shop will be called Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
Got nasty emails saying, we're going to throw a Molotov cocktail through your front window, if you don't do it. And that scared me for my staff and my family, that someone could hurt us because of the name.
The shop is named after the late Sam Chink Sherman, who apparently got that nickname as a child due to the shape of his eyes.
Live from Philadelphia, this is Fox 29's Good Day.
7:02 now. They've been serving up really good sandwiches in Northeast Philly for years, but it always came with a side order of controversy.
That's true. It's Chink Steaks, and it's changing its name now.
Dawn, is going to be Joe's?
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Simple.
Yeah. Well, Asian Americans have criticized Chink's over the years because of the ethnic slur in the name, but hopefully that'll all stop on April 1st, because let's take a look at the history of this business. The Wissanoming shop, it was founded back in 1949 by a man named Sam Sherman, who went by his childhood nickname Chink. He was a white man. Sherman died in 1997, and then the shop was taken over by the longtime employee Joe Groh. In 2004, the shop's name was criticized in a series of Philadelphia Daily News articles. In 2008, the Philadelphia Bar Association even issued a resolution because of the name. So, the shop now changing its name on Monday to Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. That name chosen by a branding specialist. The owner is hoping his son will take over the business one day, and the owner told Philly.com that he no longer wants to alienate anyone in the community. But Mike and Chanel, it's really not clear why it took so long to make the name change. And I have to laugh, a branding specialist came up with the name Joe's.
I know
that's
the
like
branding
the owner's
specialist.
name. Yeah.
Really?
His name's David Neff. Great
Really?
guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Very smart man. So
Yeah.
they came up with Joe's. Well, the guy's name's Joe.
Right.
Joe Go. Well, it was a slur. From way back in the day, the guy Sam, in 1930, he went to a high school, and he's a white guy, but he had almond-shaped eyes. So the kids, being kids, started calling him Chink.
But it's taken a long time to get the name finally changed.
Well, so then when he opened his sandwich shop, he goes, oh, that's my nickname.
Right.
I've always been known as that. And so he names his place Chink's. Seriously? Okay.
Interesting. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
A legendary Northeast Philadelphia cheesesteak shop hopes a new name will put an end to an old controversy. You see, since 1949, it's been known as Chink Steaks.
It has, but on Monday, that's all going to change. Fox 29's Bruce Gordon is in the newsroom. Bruce?
I believe it was Shakespeare's Juliet who told Romeo a cheesesteak by any other name would taste as sweet. Well, Joe Groh is about to put that sentiment to the test on the 6,000 block of Tarsdale Avenue.
We might have one black. We have gray and red.
I would love a black. The hottest selling item at this bustling cheesesteak shop isn't even on the menu. T-shirts bearing a name that's about to disappear are going fast.
Here you go. Thank you.
On April 1st, Chink's Steaks will become Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. Joe is owner Joe Groh, who took over the shop from the man who opened the business 64 years ago, Sam Chink Sherman, nicknamed by his boyhood friends for his, quote, slanty eyes. Chink's is a Northeast Philly icon, but the folks who run it finally came to realize not everyone in the city found the name inviting.
We just want to become more culturally sensitive, and we want to be able to expand, and that was hard to do with the Chink's name.
The Chink's controversy has raged for nearly a decade, and many customers in this busy eatery seem to think it's much ado about nothing.
They don't mean nothing by it. It's just the name of the place.
The first time I heard it, I was like, really? It's called Chink Steaks? But that's what it's called.
Do you find it offensive to hear it or no?
I've heard worse.
But to Philadelphia's Asian American community, using a racial slur as a business name is a very big deal.
We welcome the change.
Kay Kyung-Sun Yu talked with Groh about doing away with the Chink's name back in 2008.
We never wanted to harm Mr. Groh's business in any way. We wanted to find solutions that would work for all of us. Would we have preferred for it to have it happen sooner? Absolutely. But we welcome the fact that it is happening now.
Now, the folks at Chink's insist this April Fool's Day name change is no joke. It will happen. KU says the shop needn't have paid an ad agency to rebrand the place. She says she gave Joe some free advice 5 years ago. You own it. Call it Joe's. Live in the newsroom, I'm Bruce Gordon, Fox 29 News.
Bruce, thank you. Well, this story has stirred up a lot of debate on our Fox 29 Facebook page. Will wrote the word is offensive. Good move to change it, albeit 63 years late. Maybe now I'll check out their menu. And Michelle wrote, if someone is so easily offended, that's their problem. The name should stay as it is.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with meteorologist Adam Joseph, Alicia Vittorelli, Shirley Allicott, and Brian Tath.
A well-known Philadelphia cheesesteak shop is changing its name. Civil rights groups are protesting the Wissinoming shop and have been for years. So owner Joe Groh says he will change the name to Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. He'll make the change next Monday. The shop first opened in 1949 and shared its name with the original owner's nickname. But Groh says it's time to get with the times. Action News reporter Vernon Odom will have a live report for you coming up at 6.
The owner of a Wissinoming cheesesteak shop is bowing to critics and changing its name. Action News reporter Vern Odom is live at the restaurant in the 6000 block of Torresdale Avenue with this one. Vern?
Good evening, Rob. This is not an April Fool's joke. Repeat, this is not an April Fool's gag. On Monday, when this legendary steak shop here in Wissinoming opens for business, which is April the 1st, it will be business as usual here, except for the name of this place. Another busy Friday at this landmark steak shop on Torresdale Avenue. It's been here since 1949, when World War II veteran Sam Sherman opened up here in the 6000 block. Soon his steaks and milkshakes were drawing customers from across the region. Shepard passed away in '97. The trademark name of the business stayed the same under new ownership, but the fact that it's a well-known racist slur aimed at people of Asian descent became the target of civil rights activists who've been calling for a change since 2004. The current owner, who worked for the original proprietor, says it is time to make that change.
This is year 2013, and we've had controversy in the past, so I want to put it behind me and move on and change the name.
On Monday, a new sign will be unveiled here at Torresdale and Benner. It'll say Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. Despite years of controversy, T-shirts featuring the old name were selling like hotcakes today. Longtime and lifetime customers were finding the coming change hard to digest.
Things today are a little crazy, but everything has to be so politically correct. I think the people are a little too sensitive, you know.
That's the guy's name, so I'm thinking, it doesn't bother me any. I mean, I don't see no harm in it.
I understand some people do have a problem with it. You know, it's not meant to be offensive, but if some people take it that way, then, you know, I understand he's got a business and he wants to make it grow, so.
Joe Groh says not to worry. the menu and the environment will stay the same.
I just want to tell everybody it's the same sandwich, the same staff, the same ownership. Nothing's going to change but the name.
Tonight, Rob, Joe Groh, the owner of this place, says that the Saturday, the day before Easter, is always a very busy time for his establishment. A lot of folks coming back in town to visit their parents and relatives for a big Easter Day dinner, so he expects things to be very busy here tomorrow for old time's sake. Live in Wissinoming, Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News.
Thanks, Vern.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program at 10 p.m. with Deuces Rogers, meteorologist Adam Joseph, Shirley Alicott, and Brian Tabb.
An iconic but controversial steak shop in Wissinoming is rebranding itself, and it's getting an emotional response from people for and against the change. Take a look at how the sign looks right now. Looked this way since the shop opened back in 1949, but come Monday, the business will go by a different name. Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop, and this will be its new logo. For years, people have protested, saying that the original name is a racial slur and offensive to Asian Americans. They applaud the change. Meanwhile, supporters of the original name says it pays homage to the shop's founder and his namesake. And it's not offensive. So why, you ask, change it now?
This is year 2013, and we've had controversy in the past, so I want to put it behind me and move on and change the name.
Owner Joe Groh is also quoted as saying he plans to move the business, possibly to Fishtown. In the past, a landlord in that neighborhood rejected his business because of the racial slur in the steak shop's soon-to-be old name.
Now, in high definition, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
And a longtime Philadelphia sandwich shop will have a new identity starting tomorrow. Eyewitness News in the city's Wissinoming section, where Chink's Steaks is changing its sign and becoming Joe's Steak and Soda Shop. The shop was named after the nickname of its original owner. It's also a derogatory term used against Asian people. The shop's owners say they've decided to change the name for the sake of racial sensitivity, but not all customers agree.
It was just the man's nickname, Mr. Sherman, the original owner. Never bothered anybody back then. I don't know why all the controversy now.
That shop's been in business on Torresdale Avenue since 1949.
Happening today, a Philadelphia cheesesteak shop will have a new name for the first time in more than 60 years. The place opened up on the 1600 block of Torresdale Avenue in the city's Wissinoming section in 1949. But the business's name has been in question since day one because it is a highly offensive racial slur against people of Asian descent. Restaurant managers say it was the original owner's nickname. But by later today, the shop will be known as Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
Well, it is April Fool's Day, and I couldn't come up with anything.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried and tried and tried, but so let's go with this.
Okay.
This April Fool's Day, there is a name change, and it is no joke. A Northeast Philly sandwich shop is hoping this new name will put an end to an old controversy.
So let's go out to Steve Keeley. The place is called Chink Steaks. I guess it's been around for a long time. I heard you talking about it earlier this morning, Steve.
Long time.
Well, it's a sign of the times, and the times, they still are a-changing, and so is the name of the steak shop here. The sign is coming down, we're told this morning. It's been up since 1949, when the original owner, whose nickname, since he was just a 7-year-old kid, opened the new famous steak shop back then. The nickname has even been carved into the original owner's gravestone. And 2 years after his death, the current owner, Joe Groh, bought the business. He worked here as a teenager. Positive reviews by food critics in the Philadelphia Inquirer and Philly Magazine gave this local favorite steak shop way wider publicity throughout the city, and many saw the name for the first time in their life. Put the outrage on the leading social websites, pressuring the owner to change the name from this Chinese slur.
Just the whole issue of moving. We've been looking for a few years now, and that, like I said, that's been a roadblock in our strategy. So it was a logical next step.
We welcome the change. This is exactly what we would have liked to see happen in 2008, and it has been a number of years. Would we have preferred for it to have happen sooner? Absolutely. but we welcome the fact that it is happening now.
I think most of the people here still know it as Chinks, and I don't think even if they change the name, people are still going to refer to it as Chinks anyway.
Well, here's how the new name and the new sign will look. The owner, Joe Groh, also hopes changing the name may help change business for the better, trying to expand again, thinking the old name kept him from deals like Tony Luke has in the sports stadiums where he has a franchise along with the Campo Steaks down the street from the station on Market Street. This is a long-held nickname fight here, but we're seeing the fight over ethnic slurs, not just here on Torresdale Avenue, but around the country, and especially down in Washington, D.C. right now, where there is growing pressure on the Eagles' rival in the Eastern Division, the Redskins, to change the name there down in Washington, and that fight is really heating up right now, too, so they can maybe take a page from the little battle here of the steak shop down in D.C.
Yeah. All right, Steve, thanks.
A longtime Philadelphia sandwich shop will open its doors under a new name today. Chink's Steaks in Wissinoming will now be called Joe's Steak and Soda Shop. That store was named after the nickname of its original owner. It's also a derogatory term. The shop's owners say they've decided to change that name for the sake of racial sensitivity, but not all customers agree.
It was just the man's nickname, Mr. Sherman, the original owner. Never bothered anybody back then. I don't know why all the controversy now.
The shop's been in business on Torresdale Avenue since 1949.
Well, 4 out of 5 smartphone users check their phones within 15 minutes of waking up in the morning. A new study sponsored by Facebook also found 80% of users have their phone. It's the start of a new era for a Northeast Philly cheesesteak spot. The controversial Chink Steaks is no more. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
And I'm Pat Shiraki. The iconic cheesesteak spot is rebranding, shedding the name that they have had since 1949.
Eyewitness News reporter Jen Bernstein joins us now from Wissinoming at the new Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. Hi, Jen.
Good afternoon. Well, the new sign is up. Chink's Steaks will now be known as Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. The owner says it's time for a change, but there is pushback in this Northeast neighborhood. If you want one of the best cheesesteaks in Philly, many will point you to this iconic establishment in the Northeast. For more than 60 years, Chink Steaks has cooked up the city's staple hoagie. But starting today, it will be known under a different name, Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
Very exciting. It's very sad in a way. We've been here 64 years, but it's a new beginning.
The shop's owner, Joe Groh, took over ownership in 1999. 5 years later, a customer asked him to change the name after feeling the word Chinks was culturally insensitive. But Groh said he worried about losing business since the establishment had a strong following. A petition with 10,000 signatures backed him up, and after arbitration, it was ruled he didn't have to legally change the sign. But now, years later, he's decided to go through with it.
Over the years, it aided me that it should be changed, and I just, until maybe 6 months ago, said, you know, it's time.
The name came from the shop's original owner, Samuel Sherman, who developed the nickname Chink during childhood and decided to use it when he opened his shop in 1949. The change isn't coming without its critics. Many in the neighborhood think Groh is pandering to pressure.
I think they should have left it like it is. I mean, it's a shame.
Others are more accepting of the new name.
I'm sorry that they had to make the change, but it's not going to hurt their business one bit. I don't think. They're established here in this neighborhood.
The owner, Joe, wants to reassure his customers that the name is the only thing changing. He says the food, the shop, will remain the same. For now, we're live from the Northeast. Jen Bernstein, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
There are signs of a change at a local cheesesteak shop that's been in business for more than 6 decades. The store on the 1600 block of Torresdale Avenue in the city's Wissinoming section now bears the name Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop. It's a new name for the establishment that's been around since 1949. The cheesesteak shop decided to make the switch because the original name was considered offensive to people of Asian descent. Restaurant managers insist it was the original owner's nickname.
A landmark Philadelphia cheesesteak shop officially changed its name today. The action cam was there as workers hung the new sign in the 1600 block of Torresdale Avenue. The Wissinoming restaurant has been in business 6 decades under the old name, but many folks, especially in the Asian American community, say they found the name offensive. So today the owners officially changed the name to be Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
Is a sign of the times. A landmark Philadelphia cheesesteak shop officially changed its name today. The restaurant on the 1600 block of Torresdale Avenue now bears the name Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop The Wissinoming restaurant has been in business for 6 decades under the old name. The owner decided to make the switch because many people, specifically in the Asian American community, found the old name offensive.
A popular cheesesteak restaurant got a new name today. For the past 64 years, it's been known as Chink's. At 10 o'clock this morning, it became Joe's. Out with the old and in with the new to erase a past plagued with controversy and debate. It's been Chink's for more than 60 years, but with the removal of a sign, the owner of this cheesesteak shop hopes any controversy will go away too.
We've had issues over the years, but I want to put that all behind me and move on.
While many consider the name racially insensitive and derogatory, others think there was nothing wrong with it.
Too much PC going on. Everybody's too sensitive these days about things like that.
A lot of people are very, very upset, that I'm doing it. They think I'm bending to the PC police, but it's, as I said, it was my decision, and I feel in my heart it's the right thing to do.
The owner stresses that all the food will remain the same. The only thing changing is the name.
Everybody will keep coming here. It's been around for a long time, so I don't see no change. They make great steaks, so people keep coming no matter what the name is.
I'm sorry that he had to change it, but it's not going to affect his business. In fact, it might help it.
Asian American groups have petitioned for a change for years. The owner says he never considered the name a racial slur. That name actually came from the boyhood nickname of the original owner.
You know what they say, change is good.
Yes, it is.
Well, it is among the most famous cheesesteak spots in the city, and now it has a new title. The owner of the longtime Chink's Steaks has stripped that controversial name away. Eyewitness News reporter Jen Bernstein gives us a look at the all-new Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
If you want one of the best cheesesteaks in Philly, many will point you to this iconic establishment in the Northeast. For more than 60 years, Chink Steaks has cooked up the city's staple hoagie. But starting today, it will be known under a different name, Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
Very exciting. It's very sad in a way. We've been here 64 years, but it's a new beginning.
The shop's owner, Joe Groh, took over ownership in 1999. 5 years later, a customer asked him to change the name after feeling the word Chink's was culturally insensitive. But Groh said he worried about losing business since the establishment had a strong following. A petition with 10,000 signatures backed him up, and after arbitration, it was ruled he didn't have to legally change the sign. But now, years later, he's decided to go through with it.
Over the years, it ate at me that it should be changed, and I just, until maybe 6 months ago, said, it's time.
The name came from the shop's original owner, Samuel Sherman, who developed the nickname Chink during childhood and decided to use it when he opened his shop in 1949. The change isn't coming without its critics. Many in the neighborhood think Groh is pandering to pressure.
I think they should have left it like it is. I mean, it's a shame.
Others are more accepting of the new name.
I'm sorry that they had to make the change, but it's not going to hurt their business one bit, I don't think. They're established here in this neighborhood.
The owner, Joe, wants to reassure his customers the name is the only thing changing. He says the food as well as the shop will remain the same. Reporting from the Northeast, Jen Bernstein, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, it was a place with good food, but to many Asian Americans, a bad name. Now the owner of a cheesesteak shop in Philadelphia has had a change of heart, giving his eatery a new name. So for more than 60 years, you see the name right there. Many consider that a racial slur and a childhood nickname of the founder, however. That was his best defense on it. But as of yesterday, the current owner is now calling his place Joe's Steaks and Soda Shop.
Over the years, it ate at me that it should be changed, and I just, until maybe 6 months ago, said, it's time.
Our affiliate KYW reports when Asian Americans asked the owner to change the name in 2004, more than 10,000 people signed a petition for him to keep it.